I'd like to ask our several dignitaries to come forward with some comments. Let me begin by introducing the American Airpower Museum president. They do a terrific job here of preserving the legacy of and the American sacrifices in defense of our liberties. They opened their doors, from the day they opened our doors, they welcomed us here for our ceremonies. So from day one, we've been here. They've been here hosting us, and we thank you so much. Would you please welcome Jeff Kleiman.
Thank you, Colonel Stratemeyer. First, good morning to everybody here. It's our privilege to have you all here. Welcome to the American Airpower Museum. Our mission here is to preserve America's legacy, history, and to keep memories alive that have somehow withered in the storm of current day education. It's a great privilege to host every year the dropping of the roses, the ceremony that commemorates the December 7th, 1941 attack on Pearl Harbor by Japan and the consequent American loss of life. We also commemorate all of those events that Colonel Stratemeyer mentioned when he was calling up various veterans currently serving and retired personnel, and the Blue Star, Gold Star, and parents and families. We hold this commemoration so as not to forget our history. It's not just a museum of airplanes and propellers and jet engines and things like that. We have a wall of honor over there, across behind you all, which actually has many plaques and informative material about those who've served and are serving. And many of our volunteers, to whom I want to give a great shout out. We've put a lot of effort, and always put effort, into hosting events like this. I also want to, well, she probably won't like me for this. I want to point out a Blue Star mother. She's holding that's my wife. She's holding an iPhone over there. And my older son, Scott, who's here somewhere, who's a recently retired lieutenant colonel and F-16 fighter pilot. So I just want to make sure that Jackie knows that she's a Blue Star mother. And I think my son would probably rather be in the cockpit maybe than, well, not here, but not here today, but wandering around the museum fixing exhibits. In addition, I would like to say that we're here to commemorate the attack on Pearl Harbor and to celebrate the dropping of the roses in honor of those who died that day and fought back vigilantly, but to remain eternally vigilant. The price of freedom is eternal vigilance. When people use the words peace through strength, eternal vigilance, it's cast, a lot of times it's just words. But to the people who've actually had to pay some price, not only the ultimate price, but just the price of being there and coming back and dealing with what they've had to deal with wherever they've been, whether it's Iraq, Afghanistan, Korea, World War II, or any of the conflicts in between. It's our hope that in the future, this concept of armed conflict can be reduced It's our hope that in the future we can reduce the armed conflict as a method of resolving differences. But until that time, it's eternal vigilance. And I'd like to thank the Air Force Association for hosting these events. We're hosting, but they host too, all of the people here, and recognize the sacrifices that everybody's made here. So without further ado, I'll give you back to Colonel Stratemeyer, and we shall have an enjoyable day. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Okay, up next is the Nassau County Veterans Services Agency Director, Ralph Esposito. Ralph is, in my mind, a rock star. If you're from Nassau County, you know who the heck Ralph is. This guy works tirelessly for our veterans. He is a Vietnam vet. He's a retired New York fireman, and we're just delighted that he's always here for us. Ralph, thank you so much. Ralph Esposito.
This is the good part of being short. It's a nice high podium. First of all, I'd like to thank Helen, Lucille, Frank, and Ronald for being here today. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our greatest generation. These are the people that made it possible for us to be here today. Thank you and God bless you, all four of you. Round of applause, folks. Thank you, thank you. On behalf of our county executive, Bruce Blakeman, who made it possible for me to be here today, not that I wanted to be, but I'm always here for these guys. This is the best organization, the Air Force's organization. They do more ceremonies, and I've been to every one of them, believe me, as long as I'm in office. And I'll be here even after I'm out of office. These guys do so much for our vets every year. I think they deserve a round of applause also. Right? And I want to thank all my brothers out there, all of you, brothers and sisters that served this great country. This is America, and let me tell you, you can't beat it. I've been to a lot of countries, and let me tell you, I love this country, and I think every one of us do. Thank you all for being here today. God bless you all. Enjoy your holidays, and I salute you all. Thank you.
And the best thing I like about Ralph, he's short and sweet. The Long Island State Veterans Home, God bless them. They do great things for our veterans. They've been on board with us as long as I can remember, and all we can do is just thank them so much for the service they provide to our veteran community. Would you please welcome their director, Fred Skanga.
Thank you, Bill, and good morning to all our veterans, all your families, and especially to our Gold Star parents as we commemorate the 83rd anniversary of Pearl Harbor. The Long Island State Veterans Home since 1991, when we opened our doors, has assisted over 15,000 veterans and their families. We want you to know that we're ready to serve you because you served our country. We're there for you, whether it's short-term rehabilitation, traditional long-term care, Alzheimer dementia care, or even end-of-life palliative care. We're a big part of Stony Brook Medicine, and our 600 employees and 200 volunteers remain committed to serving those who have worn the uniform of the Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Air Force, Coast Guard, and now the Space Force. We have a saying at the Veterans Home that we care for the greatest generation to the latest generation, and we're so honored to have two of the members of the greatest generation who we care for You've already met Frank Agoglia, who is a D-Day veteran. And you might not know that this coming December 20th, we have representatives from the country of France coming to give Frank the Legion of Honor Medal, the highest honor in the country of France. And he'll be receiving that in less than 2 weeks. And one of our most recent admissions, she didn't really join us until she turned 100, but Lucille Posner, who you heard served in the Navy, we're honored to care because she served too. Thank you, Lucille. Again, thanks to Bill and Fred DeFabio. On a personal note, I got to go to Pearl Harbor 2 summers ago, and it had a tremendous impact on me. I'm not a veteran, but I'm very patriotic. And just to see what went on and understand the story of Pearl Harbor, you can count on me to continue that story, because I think it's very important for generations to come that they know the importance of the history of this country as it relates to the military, and the fact that, as Sal Scolata, who's in the back, a member of my board at the Veterans Home, he reminds me every time I see him that freedom is not free. So thank you for doing this, and if we can ever be of service to anybody in the audience, please never hesitate to call us. We are here for our veterans. God bless you. God bless our country. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred. Our next speaker is the fairly new Deputy Director of the Suffolk County Veterans Service Agency. Jim has served in the Marines for 33 years. He commanded at every level, from battery to regiment. His overseas tours included assignments during the Persian Gulf War, Iraqi freedom, and Afghanistan. He now serves doing a great job in Suffolk County, supporting the Suffolk County veteran community. Would you please welcome Colonel Retired Jim Brennan.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Bill, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Fred as well. Thank you for the invitation to be here. We're all here for our veterans, particularly the 4 we have right here in front of us. On this date in 1941, our nation awoke to a very different world than the one they put to bed the night before. To the perception of American people, the storm clouds of war had been confined to nations far away from our shores. Americans were secure in their belief that war would not come to them. On the island of Oahu in the Hawaiian Islands, people arose to begin their morning Sunday routines. The day would be anything but routine. Storm clouds of war had reached our shores, and America was now enmeshed in World War II. December 7th, 1941 was the day Americans' belief in the safety of our isolation provided was shattered, and they were thrust into the world stage for the first time to participate in the most consequential period in American history. Our service members of that period saved the world from the tyranny of despots and shaped the world to establish a new era of prosperity for our country. The 15 million service members of World War II era became the veterans that shaped America and built our nation into a world power responsible for defending freedom and supporting those without the strength to do so themselves. Our veterans set the standard for all those that followed in their rather large footsteps. Veterans such as my grandfather inspired me to a life of service, and he and his peers inspired the generations that followed to serve and protect our nation. They created a professional military force capable of responding to the threats of our nation in an ever-changing world and defended our freedoms and our way of life. They built the road, rail, and air networks that connected our nation. They made tremendous advances in medicine, engineering, computer technology, art, and literature, all fundamentally transforming our nation. Their innovation changed the very fabric of everyday life in America and our relationship with the world around it. In the early morning hours of December 7th, Pacific Standard Time, the sleeping giant awoke, and with him the strength of the American people, embodied in their service members, arose to defeat tyranny and injustice in the world. These men and women made the necessary sacrifices to ensure the security of future generations. Those at Pearl Harbor were the first of many to make that sacrifice and endure the hardships of war. It is with a great deal of gratitude that we honor these heroes today for their service our servicemen and women provided to secure our freedoms. It is especially appropriate that we honor those that gave their last full measure of devotion at Pearl Harbor. Every soldier, Marine, sailor, and airman present on that day held the line and inspired their countrymen to respond, and respond they did. Every American living today is the recipient of those benefits earned on the battlefields of the Pacific and in Europe. Our world would be a much different place today if not for those good people who stood their ground and stated firmly, "Not on my watch." I want to extend my sincere thanks and gratitude to all those that have served. God bless you all, God bless the United States of America, and God bless our servicemen and women wherever they may be. Thank you very much.
Back in 2008, we brought the Navy guys on board, the Navy sailors, added the Navy flavor to this ceremony. And it's been a great relationship ever since. Thank you so much, guys and ladies, for participating. Today we have from the Navy Reserve Center, Long Island, here in Farmingdale. It is their mission to mobilize and demobilize Navy reservists and supporting their Navy families while they are deployed. I welcome to you the youngest command chief I have ever met. Chief Enlisted Leader of the Naval Reserve Center. Please welcome Chief Alvin Valencia.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we gather here today, we stand in honor of the brave souls who were once plunged into the chaos of that fateful day. Their lives were forever altered. Their courage and commitment to defending our freedom will never be forgotten. And their sacrifices continue to echo through time. We pay homage to their valor. May it serve as a reminder of the selflessness and dedication that embodies the spirit of America. Pearl Harbor stands as a stark reminder that freedom comes at a cost. The price of liberty, the price of freedom, is eternal vigilance. That cost was measured in the lives lost, the valor displayed, and the families forever changed. Yet, amidst the devastation, it also ignited a flame of unity and determination across our nation. Today we carry the torch of remembrance, ensuring that the legacy of those who gave their life are not lost in the passage of time. We owe them a debt of gratitude that can never be fully repaid, but we can honor them by upholding the ideas they fought for of freedom, justice, and peace. Pearl Harbor serves as a testament to the resilience of the American spirit. It reminds us that the times of adversity, we rise united, drawing our strength from the sacrifices of those who came before us. May we carry their spirit forward, fostering unity, understanding, and a commitment to peace. Today, as we remember the lives lost and the bravery displayed, let us affirm our commitment to the world where the horrors of war are but a distant memory, replaced by compassion, cooperation, understanding, and a shared pursuit of peace. Thank you.
Anyway, a great friend of our association, a great pilot. Please welcome Tom Daly.
Good morning. In addition to thanking the Airpower Museum and all the people that are involved here today, I'd like to just mention that Atlantic Aviation contacts us each year to offer fuel for the flight that's going to take place today. I have the distinct honor of introducing the flight crew that will deliver the roses today. The pilot is retired Lieutenant Colonel Mike Rocky. Born and raised on Long Island, he spent 20 years in the Air Force flying T-37s, T-38s, T-34s, and the fighter, F-15 fighter. Mike saw combat over the skies of Iraq, supporting the no-fly zones. He also deployed to Qatar for 12 months. His military decorations are as follows: Air Force Aerial Achievement Medal, Meritorious Service Medal, and Bronze Star. He's currently a member of the Skytypers demonstration and skywriting team flying the T-6 Texan. He also flies in his spare time a 737 for an airline that bases out of New York. Deploying the roses from the rear seat today is Petty Officer E5 Michael Leary. He was sworn in the Navy Reserve by his dad, who was also a member of the Navy, at the age of 17. After a 7-month tour in the Mediterranean, just out of high school, he put in for transfer, volunteering for duty in Vietnam. After survival school, he transferred to the River Assault Flotilla, Flotilla 1 in the Mekong Delta. It was known as the Brown Water Navy. For those that know anything about this operation, it hadn't been used since back in the Civil War. Mike arrived in Vietnam at the age of 19 years old. His mission was to insert infantry along the rivers in Vietnam and search out the Viet Cong. Mike returned home at the age of 20. For his efforts in military combat, he received the National Defense Medal, Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal, the Vietnam Service Medal, the Vietnam Campaign Medal, and the Navy Commendation of Valor. Just as a quick side note, Mike is one of 4 brothers. All 4 of them enlisted in the Navy Reserve at the age of 17. All 4 of them served overseas. All 4 of them became police officers in the police department on Long Island, including Mike. Mike would go on to be one of the most decorated undercover police officers in their history. His son is currently in the military and has served 4 tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. Both of these men are truly American heroes. I just ask for a round of applause for them. Thank you.
Thank you. Standing here at the podium, I didn't even realize this tuba is on display here. Joe Hedresco, a man of many skills and abilities, was also a tuba player. And the Hedresco family has donated his tuba to us in the Air Force Association. Thank you so much. Thank you.